And when you realize this, and when you start to put these processes in action to raise your consciousness, you can create yourself. You can create who you want to be in any way. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, but you first must become conscious. In the past, I thought I knew what consciousness was, even to the point where I changed my Instagram name to Conscious Thoughts. That was my Instagram handle. But at the time, looking back at it, I truly didn't know what consciousness was, what consciousness is. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining what consciousness is in a very simplified way. So sit with yourself just for a moment and ask if you know what consciousness is. How would you describe consciousness? Well, consciousness is the basis, the foundation of your existence, of my existence, of existence in a whole. Consciousness is basically awareness. If you had to use English terms to explain it, we would use the word awareness. Now, in the Eastern cultures where this word consciousness is actually derived from, there are many different words that are used to explain what consciousness is. But consciousness is something beyond the physical. The only reason you are able to experience life right now is because you are conscious, or you are aware, in other words. So right now, you're aware that you're alive. You're aware of my voice. You're aware of whatever sounds may be happening around you. But when you're asleep, are you aware of anything? When you're asleep, you're not aware, you're not conscious. Now, consciousness in the West, the way that it's defined, they say consciousness is a state of being awake or mentally alert. But this is not the consciousness that I'm speaking about in this video. See, currently you're awake and you're mentally alert of a few things, but you're not aware of most of what's going on around you and inside of you. You're not conscious. See, you're breathing right now. Your heart is beating right now. So many functions are happening in your body. Isn't it true? Millions, trillions of functions are happening in this system. You're not currently aware of these things. What you're aware of is just a handful of things. There are so many things that you're currently not aware or not conscious of. So this is why the whole process is to raise your consciousness. Now, we will cover that in another video. I'll give you some tips on how to raise your consciousness. And comment below if you would like another video related to how to raise your consciousness, because in this video, I'm just explaining what consciousness is. So I will give you a quick example to explain, to kind of paint the picture of what consciousness is. So imagine for a moment that you're inside of a factory, like a factory building, right? And there's machinery and equipment all around you. And it's a dark building. So imagine there's one light hanging from the middle of the building, and this light lights the entire factory. There's a knob that you can turn, and it will raise the voltage of the light, and it will cover more space. Imagine that you just turn the knob just a little bit, and there's just a little bit of the factory becomes covered with light. Just a little circle beneath where the light bulb is. You can't see the machinery yet. Now, crank up the voltage a little more. You begin to see more. You begin to see the machinery, just a little bit of it. But if you crank up the voltage all the way, you can see the entire factory. You can see every piece of machinery. This can be likened to consciousness, your consciousness, is like a light. And as you raise your consciousness, you begin to see what has been hidden in the dark for a long time, if not your whole life. This can also be understood as the subconscious and unconscious mind in psychology. The subconscious mind stores all of the experiences that you've been through in your entire life. The good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the traumas, everything is stored in the subconscious mind. The thing is, you're not aware of all of these things. See, what has been stored in the subconscious mind has caused your emotional patterns and your reactive behaviors, your personality, your characteristics, all of these things. It has what's in your subconscious mind has formed all of these things, these patterns. So becoming conscious is shining the light of awareness onto what's been hidden in the darkness your entire life, which is the patterns, the past experiences, the memories that you've accumulated. So when you shine the light of consciousness on all of these things, you realize that you are beyond all of these things, because if there is an aspect of you who's above the subconscious mind and all of the accumulated memory that you've picked up along the way, then that means you are that awareness, you are that consciousness. See, you have a body, right? You're aware that you have a body. You're aware that you have a mind. You're aware that you have thoughts. You're aware that you have emotions. Is this true? Are you aware of these things? So there is an aspect, there's a dimension of yourself who can sit above and look down upon everything. If you have a body, you have a mind, you have thoughts, there's a deeper aspect that you that has a body, that has a mind, that has thoughts, that you is pure awareness, consciousness. The light that shines on the darkness. So this is the whole process of spirituality, to shine the light of consciousness on what's been hidden in the darkness for so long, making it visible and realizing that you have the power to change. You don't have to play out these same patterns and cycles. Once you shine the light of consciousness and you realize that, wow, who I am and all of my emotional patterns and reactive behaviors and even my personality and my characteristics, I can change this because I know that's not me. Most people, however, are in a state where they're not aware of this. They're not aware that who they are has been picked up and accumulated throughout their entire life, and they can rise above that and change. And when you realize this, and when you start to put these processes in action to raise your consciousness, you can create yourself. You can create who you want to be in any way. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, but you first must become conscious. And it first starts with becoming a joyful, a peaceful, and a loving human being, because you want to be peaceful, right? You want to be joyful. You want to feel love for yourself and for others. Yes, we all do. We all do. And it starts with raising your consciousness and developing yourself in that way. And you can do that. You just must shine that light on what's been hidden in the darkness. So with that being said, that's all for this video. Be on the lookout for a video that talks about how to raise your consciousness. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Much peace and love.